Hi everyone, I'm David Fisher, and this is Presidential Chronicles, the series of books and videos on American history as seen through the lives of the presidents of the United States. This episode is from the life of Benjamin Harrison, and the focus is Born to be a Politician. Well, politics ran deep in the Harrison family, which first arrived in North America in the middle of the 17th century when a different Benjamin Harrison settled in the colony of Virginia. There would be, in the next 5 generations, a Benjamin Harrison in every one of those, including one of the founding fathers. This Benjamin Harrison actually served in both the First and Second Continental Congresses, put his name on the Declaration of Independence right below the author, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Harrison, both from the colony of Virginia. And just like Jefferson would become the governor of the state of Virginia, so would Benjamin Harrison. Well, one of his children was named William Henry Harrison, and he was born in Virginia, but he left the state of Virginia at the age of 18 when his father died. He joined the Army, was assigned to the territory we now call the Midwest, and eventually got into politics. He became the governor of the Indiana Territory, where he served for 4 terms before war broke out. The War of 1812, put his uniform back on as a major general in the U.S. Army, was a hero, in fact, in that war, had political stops in the House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate. He was the minister to Columbia, and William Henry Harrison served as President of the United States, but only for a month before he passed away. Now, he and his wife, Anna Harrison, brought 10 children into the world. The 5th was a boy named John Scott Harrison. And John Harrison actually stayed close to the family farm throughout his life to help take care of that farm in North Bend, right on the Ohio River. He brought into the world another Benjamin Harrison. This was August 20th, now 1833. Benjamin Harrison is born in his grandfather's farm. And little did they know at the time that both the 9th and 23rd presidents of the United States were in that room together, one just being an infant at the time. Well, times were tough for the Harrison family around the farm. There wasn't a lot of money coming in, and often having to borrow to pay the bills. That was the responsibility of John Harrison to kind of run the place. As for Benjamin, well, he was a farm boy growing up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, working the fields, doing his chores, still had time to play with his friends, hunting or swimming or fishing in the Ohio River. And religious piety was sort of pervasive throughout the Harrison family. Morning and evening prayers. The Sabbath was strictly observed. No work at all on the Sabbath. The family would go to church together in the morning, come back for a very festive family meal throughout that afternoon. Really, religion and education were at the center of the upbringing for Harrison, in addition to his work on the farm. Young Ben Harrison, as he was called in his youth, loved to read nonfiction material primarily, mostly leveraging the vast library that his grandfather had collected that was available to him. At the age of 14, he was off to boarding school, which was Farmers College in nearby Walnut Hills, part of Cincinnati, which was the big city nearby. And a couple of professors there really had a strong influence on Harrison. One was Robert Bishop, and the other was John Scott. And that's no relation to his father, John Scott Harrison, John Scott, the professor here. It was actually his father, though, that still had most influence on Ben Harrison of anyone. They had a very robust correspondence while he was away at boarding school. And these letters both had encouragement, but also criticism at times. And sometimes stern or tense letters going back and forth. And there was often a religious overtone set to many of these letters, such as this one from father to son, which said, "Youth is the time to serve the Lord. Some people think to be religious you must be melancholy and morose, but it is not so. Who has so much cause to be cheerful as he who has made his peace with God?" Well, at one point, while Ben Harrison was at Farmers College, his mother passed away. It's now 1850. He's only 17 years old. He wanted to come home, help his father, work the farm, but his father said, "No, you've got commitments on your education. You need to complete those." And he did so and ended up his tenure at Farmers College, now with an opportunity to go to university. For that, he stayed in the area. About 30 miles from home was a prominent university, Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. 6 full-time professors, which was pretty good at the time, about 250 students. Ben Harrison made a pretty positive impression on many of his fellow students, including one by the name of Lewis Ross, who later recalled that he, Harrison, talked easily and fluently. His manner was indicative of much earnestness of character. He never seemed to regard life as a joke, nor the opportunities for advancement as subjects for sport. During the 4 years that I was with him, He impressed me with the belief that he was ambitious. In fact, Ben Harrison would be elected to the as president of the exclusive Union Literary Society, and it was time to graduate. He was the third speaker at commencement. This is now June of 1852. His speech had political tones to it. The poor of England, about the appalling treatment that the poor got in that country. He said during this address, perhaps the whole annals of legislative history does not furnish us with a system of laws so fully repudiated by all sound economy, or one which so rudely strikes at the foundation of all social prosperity as the poor laws of Great Britain. Well, every graduate from Miami went into one of two fields, theology or the law. Ben Harrison had attraction to both. He eventually chose the latter. He was going to become a lawyer, perhaps because that was really the path to the family business, which was in public service. Now, there had been another reason why Ben Harrison had gone to Miami and in Oxford, Ohio. Yes, it was a chance to go to a good university, not too far from home, but there was also a person he was traveling to find, because Professor John Scott, who had taught him at Farmers College, had also moved his family to Oxford to start up his own school called the Oxford Female Institute. One of the students that would be there was his daughter, and this was Caroline Harrison, who Ben Harrison had strong feelings for. They had got to know each other at Farmers College. He was smitten, so he was glad when he had the opportunity to continue to see her during his university life. He described Carrie Scott as charming and lovable, petite and a little plump, with soft brown eyes and a wealth of beautiful brown hair. Those feelings would only intensify while they were together in Oxford. But he graduated a year before she did, and he had to go off and start his law career. In fact, he went to Cincinnati, where he was going to study under a former congressman by the name of Bellamy. He didn't really care for this. Mostly he was alone. He was studying all days and nights and running errands for the other lawyers. It just wasn't very fulfilling, and frankly, he was lonely. Ben Harrison wrote his sister Anna, "I suppose you have read about the Great Desert. Well, my life is about as barren of anything funny as the Great Desert is of grass." But mostly, he missed Carrie Scott. He planned to marry her as soon as she graduated from Farmers College, even though his friends counseled against this, said, "You're not ready. You have barely started your own career. You don't have enough money to be able to support a family." But frankly, he was unmoved. His heart was set, and October 20, 1853, in the Scots' home, these two tied the knot. Ben Harrison, only 20 years old at the time. He had not yet been admitted to the bar, but he was gleeful over this match. He said that of his new wife, her presence and the consciousness that she is my wife afford an infinitude of quiet happiness. Well, now it was Ben Harrison's father's opportunity to get into the family business of politics. He was off to Washington, D.C., as he had just been elected to the United States Congress. Benjamin Harrison, shortly thereafter, did pass the bar, and now he had a decision to make. Where was he going to hang his shingle? That is the story for another day. That's Benjamin Harrison and the life, and Born to be a Politician, from the life of Benjamin Harrison. For more presidential chronicles, check out my books on Amazon.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm David Fisher. This is Presidential Chronicles.